give you a noise.
To League Kid Joe.
The blackness of the sun and moon couldn't hold on any longer. From that, we learned that there were far more than 3 of the beings. I don't really know why people thought there was only 3, actually, but for some reason that was a common belief a while back. Well, I may as well answer one of the questions that were on the machine I set up to record any messages I got when not on the air. This one comes from Yvonne, who asks, what wars have taken place since the world split? Not many, oddly enough, or not many that we can know of anyway. There's little to no worldwide communication anymore. It isn't allowed by them. That's one reason having this radio station up at all is such a big risk. So, it is possible that there have been wars in other countries that we just don't have any way of knowing about, or that even there may have been wars simply on the other side of our country. There could very well be one taking place right now. We can't know. But as far as I know, there haven't really been any major wars in the past. I seem to remember there being a small battle somewhere in southern New England at some point, but I think it was mostly just a squabble between a few cities and towns. It is somewhat odd, though, that there doesn't seem to have been many wars in our history since they arrived. It would seem like they would revel in war, as it would only serve to bring us more dread than we already had. I wonder if it's because they don't want us to have even that small sense of community and interconnectedness with whatever side of the war we're on. I don't know, I can't know, but that seems possible. Sorry, just sometimes when I think about all this in the big picture, it's just so horrible, for lack of a better word. A song now, I think. This is Love's Garden of Roses by John McCormack. Hope you enjoy.
Together, where love alone
I think I'd like to tell a story. This is a story my father told me a long while back. It would have had to have been a long while back for him to tell it to me, after all. When my father was a young man, he worked on some fishing boats that were centered in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. They would go out past the Isle of Shoals and stay about a mile out from there. They would often stay out a few days and nights at a time. Around that time, my father had met my mother and spent a good amount of time thinking about her. He always kept a picture of her folded in his pocket. It was creased and worn and stained and smelly, but he wouldn't give it up for anything. One of the nights that they stayed out on the sea, he had trouble sleeping and was sitting out on the deck looking at her photo in the moonlight. The ocean was still. Only small ripples broke the reflection of the moon. He stared at the picture, lost in his thoughts, scarcely aware of his surroundings or even that his eyes were open. But he heard the lapping of water against something other than the boat, and that brought him back to reality. Near the boat, there had risen out of the water a pillar of stone that was carved into ambiguously grotesque forms. He only looked at it for a moment before realizing what must have created it and what those forms must have represented, and he turned his head away, trying to purge the image from his mind. He made his way back down to his cabin without a sound. The next morning, he didn't tell the others about it. Once above deck, they saw it for themselves, and had almost the exact reaction that my father had. They didn't speak about it to each other. They had been planning to spend one more day in that area to fish, but they turned back towards Portsmouth and returned as fast as they could. Once they were there, they didn't tell anyone what they had seen. I hope you enjoyed that story. I'll probably tell other stories on this show to further expand your knowledge and mental image of our world. But that's enough for now. Next, I guess I'll talk about
Tuesday.
This show is written, narrated, and produced by Arthur Walterson. You can read other stuff he writes at arthurwalterson.wordpress.com. You can also check out the website for this show at 108point3.wordpress.com for updates and information. Follow us on YouTube and the show's website to get the newest episodes. Background music for the show is created by Eddie Palmer of The Fucked Up Beat and Studio Noir. Check out his music at thefuckedupbeat.bandcamp.com.